Hello. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Happy Monday. I hope everyone has recovered from their Super Bowl shenanigans yesterday. I don't know. I went live a little before the Super Bowl and quite a few people were like, I'm not even gonna watch. So uh see. Say hi to everyone. But I will say with the Super Bowl, I only watched the halftime show. That's all I cared about. And it was great. I loved it so much. We'll get into that in a second. I'll talk about it a little bit. What's up, Steven TV? Good morning. Hi, Gravy. Hello, Andrew. Spruce Wood Steven. Good morning. Hello, Sippy Senpai. America, late and poorly caffeinated. Oh, wait. I feel like you're never poorly caffeinated. You like always have coffee. Wiley Dave, what's up? I can't wait. I still have Angel right there. I gotta open him up and then he's gonna go. Can't see the shelf up there above Mr. Skeleton there. He's gonna go with the rest of the gang. Thank you again so much for that. Digital Man Dave, good morning. What's up, that Raging Cajun? Nearsighted Cyclops, hello. Good morning, Kings. I'm so excited for our podcast later. I'll post the link at the end of the stream for it. It's up. Really excited to talk about Master and Commander. What's up, Azur? Good morning. Tara, Psychotic Mongoose. Aaron, what's up? Good morning. So, what did everyone think about the Super Bowl last night? I feel like people just didn't care, because it was people have just gotten thoroughly annoyed with Taylor Swift. So, uh, what's up, Demajani? Good morning, Trey. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It is. So yeah, at the end of the stream, I'll post the link. So tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're all gonna be talking about the movie Master and Commander. The halftime show was so epic. So if you guys remember on my gaming stream yesterday before the Super Bowl. I probably right before it started, but I was talking about the halftime show, and I was so excited because I love Usher, and my he actually sings my favorite song, and I said, I'm like, I hope he plays, and he did. It was only a few minutes, but "Love in This Club" is actually my favorite song. I know it might be silly. I just love Usher, but "Love in This Club" has been my favorite song since I was a teenager. But it's like that song that brings you back, when you first hear it and you're like, wow, I just love the song. I love the background music. I just love that everything about that song. So whenever I hear like the music for that, it just brings me right back to that summer. It was great. Anyways, I loved it. Loved it, loved it. Yeah, Azure, you're right. It's the Swifties. Let me correct myself there. That it's not that people are thoroughly annoyed with Taylor Swift. It's the Swifties, just like with the Kardashians. Like I think that it's not really that people hate them. It's their fan base. Um, when Ludacris came out, major nostalgia. Yeah, didn't watch the Super Bowl. Well, I only watched the halftime show. I actually was watching I just started rewatching Lois and Clark with Dean Cain. Oh, I love it. That's major nostalgia because I was really little when it came out. Like, I don't remember any of the plots from the episodes. Uh, yeah, I don't even know what year it came out. Might have even started before I was born. I don't know. But um, I've been rewatching. It's on HBO Max if anyone's interested, and it's for me, like, I'm sure everybody in here, either you watched it or your parents watched Coach and Cheers. Those I've seen all of Cheers now, but, it's like a nostalgia thing for me. I was so little, my mom used to watch these shows, so, like, hearing the music, the theme song, Saint Lois and Clark gives me the same vibes as Coach and Cheers. Anyways, I'm excited to talk about what we have today. It's not quite as like long or in depth as the Daryl Davis from the last episode, which I love that. I probably should have made that episode a bit longer, but America's well, excuse me. If you can't, well, it's yeah. Jay makes it for members only after, and I'm guessing you probably are because people go crazy with the gifted memberships there. But yeah, it's gonna be 7 PM Eastern. I hope you can make it because it's gonna be a great conversation. I love that podcast. Um, I don't think people agree with you on that, Americus, or disagree or agree, because Frasier was one of those shows that at the spinoff was just so good that it could hold its own. Psychotic Mongoose. I didn't catch him on F&T, but I caught him. I missed part of it, but he was on High Tea with Jay and Beardo, and, that was what I caught from it was great. I was actually on side scrollers when it was live, so I missed most of it. Love Cheers, such a great show. It's crazy that 93 million people watch the finale of that show and stay network TV gets about 4 I know, isn't that crazy, Kings? I went to the Cheers so there's 2 Cheers, restaurants in Boston, and I went to the one where I guess they have I don't know if they actually filmed it though, wasn't it a studio? But where they have the bar from the show. It was great. I think it was something with the coach. It was like a turkey BLT thing, like a turkey club. It was good. I have a mug actually. I should start bringing that out more. I love it. I have a Cheers shirt and a mug. I had a really great time actually when I went to Boston. I've only been there once. I would like to go back and do. I did the Freedom Trail, but I would like to go back and do more of like the pirate stuff that they have there. So maybe this year. Never heard of Master and Commander. Oh, so you can actually rent it. I have the Blu-ray thanks to Wiley, but you can rent it for $1.50 on Prime. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right. So I don't know what I want to start. You know what? We're gonna start with, and there's two topics that I want to talk about today. One is this teacher who I'm gonna actually start with this. So the tweet is, "This is utterly brilliant. A student accuses J.K. Rowling of being transphobic. This teacher skillfully dissects this claim and challenges it by asking questions. He teaches not what to think, but how to think critically," which is we are in dire need of this these days, especially from teachers. Watch until the end. You see the epiphany in real time. I really enjoyed this video. It's very short, but we're gonna talk about Gina a little bit too, but not what you guys think, not really the lawsuit. It's gonna be more so about her character and why I like her so much. Good stuff. Get this. I don't have my headphones. It feels weird. I feel like I should just have my headphones on, even when I don't need to hear anything, because it feels so weird to be streaming without headphones on. Okay, so full screen. Yeah, so let me read that again one more time. This is a student accuses J.K. Rowling of being transphobic, and this teacher skillfully dissects the claim and challenges it by asking questions. That's, that is, I guess it kind of tags onto what I was talking about last week. Just let's just watch it. I'll pause it a little bit, but we're probably just gonna watch it in its entirety because it's only 4 minutes long. But so the teacher, this is the teacher. Um, Soon, Trey, I gotta do my research. Yes, she is. Thanks, Stat Raging Cation. I've had it for a while. This is my first time actually wearing it. I love it. Um, so this teacher goes about this the way headphones are part of my uniform, the way you should, right? He disagrees with this kid, but he doesn't argue with him about it. He asks questions like, "Why do you think this way?" And like I said in the tweet, he dissects it and makes this kid's mind change. And we need that because we have this tribalistic. I see it on both sides too. I've said this before. Good morning, GRP. Um, we need more critical thinking. People don't think for themselves. And like I said, it's on both sides. You'll see like, your favorite celebrity, your favorite creator have an opinion. You're like, yeah, that's my opinion now. But why? Okay, here we go. Let me know if you guys can't hear it. I did share the audio, so it should be good to go.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
We good? You guys can hear it? I don't know when this video was recorded. It's relatively new because it was over the last couple of years that the J.K. Rowling stuff happened. Good morning, Ken. Oh, it's all right, Brian. Groupthink is a major problem these days. It is. And that's why this video, we need more teachers like this. Like, this guy is brilliant. I don't even know his name. We got to look him up. I want to know more about this teacher.
No.
She's had a pretty controversial.
Hold on,
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? And, like, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
I love that too. And I love this because I don't know what the context of this was, right? But it seems like it's the kid interviewing the teacher. And you see right away he says her bigoted opinions, right? I like this video so much. It gets me excited.
So let's get specific though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
You've heard.
You see that? He said, I've heard. He's not saying that he personally thinks it, but he's saying that she is. No, I wouldn't say hot for teacher. His opinions, or the way he takes this apart, is just brilliant to me. But you hear out the wording that this kid is saying, like, I've heard, but he's not saying, like, well, I think. I mean, he's saying he thinks it, right? But he's not. You'll see. Let's keep going. I'll try not to pause it too much, but this video makes me really excited because I just need so much more of this in the world.
So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want.
See again, I think. If you look, I think, not like because he based when he started the video, he seemed very like, okay, like she's bigoted, right? Yeah, you're right, Americus. Destroy the premise behind the loaded question. I like this guy, right? I love it.
I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
And another challenge that he does there, I love this Bob's like, because he's not being judgmental of the guy. He's really just like trying to like explain to me why you think this. And he's like, okay, go ahead, find the tweets. He wants to see the proof, which is something where by the end of this, I also respect the student too. And you'll see what I mean by that. Because on the internet, when you ask people like, this is a good way to start because I am going to get into the Gina stuff afterwards too. Her tweets and stuff. I'm not going to show, but you know what I mean. Anyways, when you ask people online to prove why they feel a certain way, like when they're just attacking somebody online, they never can. They just block you. So see if you can find one. I think I'm hot for teacher. What's up, Taylor Swift? Great Disney Star Wars. Drunken Sailor. Good morning.
So one of these
a few minutes
that she
later
came out with in 2019.
Sorry, let me be quiet.
So one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
it? It was deemed transphobic.
I love how he's asking him, you. He's like, it was deemed transphobic, right? Like he doesn't, and he was kind of like, while he was reading it, I feel like he was like, wait, like, because he actually read it. He probably never actually read the tweet. He probably just read parts of it and was like, yeah, mob mentality. You know what I mean? But you could tell as the kid was reading the tweet that he's like kind of, stumbling over it a little bit.
Like I myself.
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
Right there. That's the biggest problem. He says, I don't have an opinion on it, but I'm going by what other people have said. He started this interview or whatever it is that they're doing here saying that she was bigoted and transphobic. But now he's saying he doesn't have an opinion on it, but based on what other people have said. And that's just, yes, groupthink. That's the internet as a whole. People don't think for themselves at all anymore. I've said it before, but it's like celebrities and their favorite creators. They wait to see what they think before they post their opinion or they make the comment or anything. And it's just, no, say what you think. Who cares what your favorite creator, your favorite celebrity, or your parents? And no, hive mind mentality. Exactly. I like this guy too. Because he's doing it calmly too. This is something that I was pushing last week. When you're trying to get a point across to somebody or you care about somebody and you really want to help them, you do it with love. When you do it with attacking, that's not going to, it's just going to make the problem worse. It's going to make them lean more the way that you are trying to take them from.
So let's pause it. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
Yeah, see that? And you're right, Trey saying he's not even telling him that his opinion's stupid. He's picking it apart to get to the root of why do you think this way. Good morning, Benji. Um, so, I like that. His approach is, again, with love. Exactly. Make them explain their position. Most of the time, they can talk themselves out of it. Emphasis on you thinking. Exactly. Here, let me go back a little bit.
Do you see anything problematic? Learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no.
Yeah, see, hold on. Sorry, I paused at the wrong time. So yeah, he's like, yeah, that's exactly what she's saying. And I just love how he takes a second, but it's good because what he's doing is he's making this kid think, right? He's not just like your opinion's dumb, he's picking it apart and making him think like, why are you agreeing with what everyone else is saying? And the kid actually read the tweet. And you could tell in the beginning, the first time he read the tweet, he's like, he's, kind of stumbling over his words because he's like, wait a minute, like, is this the tweet that, probably like, wait, what is his brain is like processing it, right? Like everyone was so mad about this, but he's like, so like getting to the point where he doesn't believe it. And then, the teacher just kind of guides him to the proper way of thinking.
To me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic.
There it is.
It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with.
See, like he is trying to like, word it because he knows that saying that he agrees with that tweet will make people probably come after him like, oh, well, you're transphobic. But he actually read the tweet and dived into what it meant. Yeah, boom. That's his thing. I love this teacher, man. He's awesome. Yeah, Brian C. When the debate is lost, slander becomes a tool of the loser. That's what some people are afraid of, thinking for themselves. Yeah. And that's why we need people, I'm gonna get into a Gina conversation in a minute after this. We need people like that, like Gina, that aren't afraid because she's not doing anything by spreading hate. And people are trying to say that she is, but she's not at all. I think that she's always come from a place of love with her stuff. She doesn't attack people that attack her, and I respect that so much. But this teacher is just amazing, and we need more of him. And respect to the student for not jumping to labels. You're an ist or a phobe, like most liberals will. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, and the kid, they're having a good conversation, and that's what needs to happen. That's goes back to what my last episode was about with Daryl Davis. Of course, he probably wanted to just, maybe not wanted to, but it'd be the easy route would be to attack these people, right? Like they're racist. He's a black man, and he went to, the Klan rallies and he talked to these guys and they probably said terrible things to him, some of them, but he sat down and he said it. I sat down and had a conversation with him. I listened to him, he listened to me, and that is kid sounds like his dad, right? Well, mama said. Anyways, let's finish the video. Sorry, I keep pausing it.
But I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something, because
Sure.
There's an apology tweet.
Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect
Bet you he did
every
read it.
trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so No, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying like, I have nothing. To me, this is what I interpret it as. I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
Live your life, but you just don't get to impose on my. You can live how you want. I can live how I want.
Yeah.
And let's all,
Exactly.
So I guess now that we're looking at it like, oh, there's not much difference between me or her. Why do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
See, this video is great, and Ian teen finds brain and it goes viral. You're not wrong though, but yeah, because I guess this started like maybe this was the teacher's, I'm guessing obviously this is what he wanted to happen from the get-go, right? He's sitting down having a conversation with the student, and yeah, he did start it saying, given her bigoted opinion and you know what I mean? And now all he had to do was pick apart one little tweet from her for him. And he's like, wait a minute. And the kid's like, I feel stupid. And that's what this is great. Yeah, this is great because it's not just like, oh, well, I have the same opinion as you now because you turned my opinion over. But no, he had him pick it apart so that this opinion became his own. Hopefully this kid has a new perspective now. I hope so too.
It's okay though, but this is why we do this, to learn how to think.
To learn how to think. That's something that needs to be taught these days, to learn how to think. Because there's a lot of, a good explanation, or not a good explanation, a good example would be the whole thing happening with what's his name, H3, Ethan, right? People used to look at him like, oh, he's great, like he fought against YouTube for the censorship, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns around and becomes basically just do what you're told. Don't think. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you tell somebody not to think? And that's what we get. Yeah, we need more teachers teaching proper critical thinking like this. Yeah. Um, yes. Reasonable discussion like this is the only way to fix all the social programming. Props to this guy. When I was in school, they taught, critical thinking for yourself and like your opinion and all that. And it's just like, um, I don't know what's going on in schools now. I have, niece and nephews and some of the stuff that, over the years I've heard them say, I'm like, that sounds like it came from a teacher that is misinformed. And it's kind of scary. But that's how I saw something else up here that I wanted to says, like Bill Burr says about arguing with women, but point still stands. When they start insulting you, you know you've won. Just take a knee and run off the clock. Yeah. And that's what the internet does. They just start insulting you. Even if you come from a place of love, right, on the internet and you're calmly responding to their hate like Gina does. She doesn't I don't see her respond to a lot of trolls. Then again, I don't live on Twitter. I'm not on there a lot. So I know she hasn't like come at anybody with hate though. I know that. And that's probably what makes them mad, right? It's like you have a bully, a schoolyard bully, and you don't give them anything, right? Like they just keep bullying you and bullying you and bullying you, and you don't snap back, and it drives them crazy. That's the same thing as these trolls on the internet, and it goes on both sides. I know most people hop in and they're like, "Oh, it's the liberals and this and that." No, both sides do it. 100%, both sides do it. One side probably is a bit worse, maybe, right? I'll give that, but it happens. It's just become this all-out war. Yeah, they want a response. That's why I don't respond to trolls. I feel like it's just not even worth my energy. Like, why? When you respond, you're giving them what they want. Um, Majority of teachers look at themselves as activists versus educators. Yeah, that's how it is now. Absolutely. Uh, Unfortunately, schools and colleges are demanding you think this way or you will fail. You won't have friends. You will get shunned or hurt or killed an opinion that's different than ours. Yeah. A lot of internet arguments go wrong because they aren't a real discussion, just a mob. There needs to be an individual discussion. Exactly. That's the problem. I mean, that's why again, I don't respond to trolls on the internet because why? I'm gonna respond to them, and then their friends are all gonna hop on and, just attack, and so it feels like such a waste of my time and my, just energy to give it to that hate. Um, it's the worst thing you can do to a bully is laugh at their insults, yeah. Yeah, what's up, Ryan? Granted, destroying trolls is fun. Um, when you're answering heat with love, it is like heating hot coals on their head. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay, it took me a second, but Trey says, "But that's my life." Yeah. Um, yeah, so, obviously right now, Gina Carano is a huge topic, because of the lawsuit against Disney, which I think is, wonderful. We talked about this a bit on Saucy, but I'm gonna, talk about it a little bit more, but we're gonna do more talking about how she responded to a lot of these trolls and hate emails, and I'm sure she got a lot of hate emails, tweets, all that. So with this lawsuit, I think that even if it is lost, like she doesn't win the lawsuit, there's gonna be a change. There's gonna be a win here because she's doing it. It's totally deserved. She was bullied heavily. I remember, so I wasn't obsessed with her character, Cara Dune, right? I thought she was cool and I liked her. So then I started following Gina and seeing what she was posting, and I was like, she's pretty I like what she's putting out there. Most celebrities don't do that. Like they're afraid to, put their opinion, especially being on a certain side. Um, and the tweet I wasn't on Twitter at this time. I seen it on Instagram, and I think she tweeted it too, I'm guessing. The post, and I remember it was like a girl running and getting, kinda like looked like she was getting beat on, and, I don't remember the exact quote, but she was talking about the Holocaust and how first the government turned their neighbors against them, and she is right, that is a historical fact, that's what happened. They turned their neighbors against them first, their friends and their families, not families, because but friends, we'll say, right? People that they were close with turned on them first, and then that's how that started, and the way people turned that around, I remember seeing that and agreeing and didn't think anything would happen, and then, like, 2 days later, I wake up and I look at my phone and seeing that she got fired, and I was like, "Oh my god, what? What?" And people were turning it around saying, she was a "ist," this and that. You guys know, you were there, you seen it. And they were, like, saying she compared being a conservative in America to the Holocaust, and I'm like, "Where? We need that teacher to talk to everybody. Where? Show me where it says that, because she never even said that. She never said it. And I can't read all of them, but I've seen, quite a few of the tweets. She got, like, the death threats and the hate. It's just like, "Oh my gosh," and I remember watching, the first big interview she did was with Ben Shapiro, and she just seemed like a woman that was so hurt and sad, and I felt so sorry for her, like, it was just I couldn't believe that people went that hard, and then you got Pedro Pascal, who is just tweeting all this hate, coming at people personally for disagreeing with him. Like, what a piece of work that guy is. Did he get fired? No. Did he get anything? No. And it just shows how, if you agree with them, it's okay. She didn't do anything out of hate. She didn't. She wasn't, attacking anybody or um it just was really like sad, I guess, to see. And I think that Gina Carano is one of the classiest people I've ever seen on the internet. I don't know her personally. I know friends, I have friends that know her. You guys all know that Jay is close with her. And he said she's great. And a few other people I know that have met her said she's just a wonderful person. And I can only judge myself from what I see that she puts out on the internet, and I think she's very classy, respectful, and seems like a very loving person. And after another thing that's you gotta respect is that after all of this, she's still a fan of Star Wars. Even myself, I'll be honest, being on the internet, not that I'm not a fan of the old movies, I love the old Star Wars movies, but I find myself not wanting to watch them, not wanting to buy merch and stuff because I just got so burnt out on everything. It sucks. See, let's get some of these comments, guys. I had to go on a little rant there. Many trolls collect blocks like trophies so they can screenshot to the interaction and try to get more interaction. Social media isn't the place for productive conversation. Oh no, it's not. And you see people get excited. I don't blame the blocking. Like Gina should block all these people that say stupid stuff to her because who needs that? Who needs that? They're not gonna have a conversation with her or anybody that's gonna be productive, just like you're saying right here. And they get, like, happy about it. It's like, how could you get happy about being so hateful that somebody had to block you? Like, "Yes, Gina blocked me. Woohoo." And it's like, well, that's kinda sad. Like, you should I'll pray for you, because what the heck? How is that like a defining moment in your life? It's just sad how these kids are being programmed to be hateful by default with anyone against them. They don't deserve to be used like that. Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have is going after the kids. And you see that so much with when it comes to race, sexuality, all that. I could go on a whole thing with that. But that's where I have the biggest problem. Like, leave the kids alone. Oh, okay. I read it that way, deranged lunatic. Like that's how I processed it. So you're good. That's why I had to reread it. If she just gets her facts out of the normies, it would be a win for all of us. And yes, I'm very thankful that Gina's standing up. Long live the rebellion. Yes, I've had this cup forever. This is one of my favorite cups. I got it at a convention like 4 years ago. So I'm like, "This is a good cup to use today." Gina was 100% correct with that tweet, though. People who didn't accept an experimental drug were shunned by the righteous. Yeah, exactly. She was right. And it wasn't that's what I and that's see, you took it the way it was supposed to. People got mad about it and then were like, "Oh, she's comparing it to being a conservative in America." No. And again, we need that teacher to come onto the internet and be like, "Where in the tweet did it say that?" Because it didn't. And then, you'd get a couple people that were like that kid, like, "Oh God, I feel stupid now." But most people would be like, "No, you're a istinophobe and a blah blah," and lose their minds because critical thinking. Why do that? Ian says that article about her going to Vancouver convention repeated those exact falsehoods. To this day, they haven't corrected their narrative. They haven't. No, not at all. Because why admit they were wrong? See you later, Americus. Wiley says, "I don't do social media." Well, it's good for your mental health. Just stop and think that leave kids alone is a line we are now defending. The sheer number of lines that have been crossed to get there. I know. I know. That's what was the one? I know. I'm pretty sure he like back. He went not that he went back on it, but what was his name? Nick, the streamer that tweeted to leave kids alone, and he got attacked for it. It's like, wait a minute, what? I find it insane that you have to be 21, to drink and, the age of consent and all that, but then, like, you could be 13 years old and have your entire body changed. That's not okay. Um, it's just not. And that's why when I found that video, I was like, "Oh, yeah, we're talking about that on Monday because we just need more teachers like that. We need critical thinking, and it's I feel like so I've read that Generation Alpha, which is under Gen Z, so I don't know what the age range would be. I think Gen Z is considered more like 20s now, probably, right? Like early 20s, maybe teens. But the generation under them, they're so tired of already, which I've been there for a while, so I agree. They're tired of the narrative that's getting pushed, the whining, the woke crying, and all that. So it's being speculated, we'll say that they are gonna go hard one way because they're so tired of the wokeness, and I hope so. We need a change. So I'm hoping that that's what happens. Because if you think about that, that happens a lot with kids, right? Like if your parents are super like they push their ideals on you heavily. You wanna rebel against it, no matter which way it is. Sometimes it's not like that. Like I didn't rebel against my mom, like, being Christian and all that, the same. So, but some kids rebel, and because the woke ideology is just so strong right now, these kids are tired of hearing it. And because they're new in their thinking, right? Like, they're still young, they're seeing it and they're probably like, "What?" Like, just they're tired of it because all they do is complain, right? That's all that happens with all this is that the parents are just complaining and, God. So I can only imagine trying to be a child in this time. I definitely would rebel against it. And that Ragin' Cajun, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I gotta add some videos on here for, like, like the bangarang and stuff. Thank you so much, that Ragin' Cajun. Yeah, it was Nick Merckx, and he got shamed or shunned from Activision. People were standing up for him, right? Yeah. I think he, backpedaled on that, but yeah. Simple physics equal opposite reaction. Gina was fired when she did Beep Bop Boop. Was it though? Wasn't it the post? Like, because I remember hearing her talk about that because I guess Pedro's sister or brother or whatever, are trans. So he explained to her why, like, it wasn't right, and I think she kind of, like, apologized for it, not apologize, but she didn't apologize. She explained that it was because people were trying to make her put her pronouns in her bio, and she's like, "No, I don't need to do what you're telling me to do," and she's absolutely right about that. But she had I don't remember what interview it was. Maybe it was the Ben Shapiro one, but she did talk about saying, that Pedro explained to her why people were upset, and it's not that she apologized. I think that she was just maybe apologize for hurting anyone's feelings because it was taken the wrong way. Um, Common sense isn't taught anymore. Social media promotes reaction over thought for attention from the mob. Yeah, and it's from both sides again. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's not just one side that does that. If you're trying to push a narrative or you're coming from a place where you're trying to help somebody and you do it with hate, no matter what side it is, you're not gonna get that effect. You're gonna push people away from what you're trying to push. Like it's just not gonna go well. Oh, I meant to say that was a real reason. Got you, Trey, in your opinion. And the Holocaust tweet was an excuse. Yeah, it's true. Parents are responsible for the kids until they're of legal age. That means parents, are in charge of making decisions for their children no matter what the children want. Exactly. Yeah, because you see it. It's actually very sad because, like, a 13-year-old girl, here's an example, 13-year-old girl dresses like tomboyish. When I was a little, I was pretty tomboyish. I didn't start getting more girly until teenage years, but even in the beginning of teenage years, like my freshman year of high school, I always wore jerseys and jeans. Like that was basically my style. And then I started getting into like dresses and skirt and like I still have like, I dress down sometimes, but a 13-year-old girl is dressing like a tomboy. She likes to go play sports and stuff, but she just likes that, right? Nowadays, it's like, "Oh, well, you're a boy." What? No. No, she just likes to dress that way, be comfortable, and play sports. That doesn't mean that she's a boy. And, you can they're still developing, so they don't really know what they want, except this girl knows she likes to play, basketball, and they're putting it on them, and it's like you're ruining them. When you do that, like, and then, 10 years down the line, this girl's like, "Wait, I didn't want this," and, now she can't have kids and stuff or something, It's leave the kids alone is such a makes me very upset. Um Wiley Day says bring back spanking. Common sense cannot be taught. It's an uh instinctual sense that is harnessed through experiences, and they're taking those experiences away from kids. They're telling them how they should think, not to ask questions, and that still blows my mind because when I was in school, I had some really good teachers. When I was in school, yeah, they taught critical thinking and thinking for yourself, and I can only imagine, like, what, elementary school, junior high and stuff is like now because 'cause they're just there was a I don't know if this was passed or if it's getting passed or what, but in I think it was Virginia, if you wanted to transition, you didn't need to tell your parents. Like if you told your teacher, and I'm like, that's keeping secrets from your parents when you're a child. How is that okay? Um, Thank you, Super Koopa TV. I really love your position here. Very balanced. I also had a Christian upbringing, still faithful today at almost 32, no matter what. Yeah. I'll probably end up saying this at some point in every one of these streams, but my mom always said to me that the only perfect being that ever walked this earth was Jesus. And that's why I get bothered when I see whether you're Christian or not and you're harshly judging other people for their sins. It's like, okay, so you're perfect then, right? No, you're not. So, and I don't come at people if they're not Christian either. I hope that they come to that side at some point. But again, if I want to have a critical discussion with them about it, I'm going to come from a place of love. And if you tell me, because sometimes things happen to people, like they, maybe as a child they had somebody who, a Christian who was kind of, I want to word this correctly because they're not all like this. Clearly, but that maybe is harsh about it, like, "Well, if you think this way and you don't think this way, then, like, you're gonna go to hell and blah, blah, blah," and they're, like, kind of, aggressive, there we go, aggressive about it. It might push you away. I've seen that, friends and family that, don't, uh not that they don't believe in God, but they don't follow a Christian life because they, had a bad experience. That's where coming from a place of love instead of hate is how you have to do it. If you wanna help somebody come to the right side, in your mind, I'm not gonna say what side is right or what's wrong. I believe what I believe, you can believe what you believe. You have to, come from a place of love. Hate doesn't breed anything. "I didn't realize being a man would be so hard, so lonely." Quote from a woman who was trans into man. Yeah. A lot of people, that have transitions change their mind. But it's like once you do that, you can't really go back to uh what you were born as, right? The kid thing really annoys me. They're making them pawns in a really horrible ideology, in my opinion, beyond acceptable. Exactly, Ian. Exactly. Thank you, Super Koopa TV. I try my best. I'm just a girl on the internet. What do I know? The road to righteousness is narrow. Yeah. Says the never discuss politics or religion at the dinner table mindset set society back for generations. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it got real bad. Like there's memes I find kind of funny where it's like, when you talk politics at Thanksgiving and it's just like an all-out war. Yeah, it's just how it is. People shouldn't speak against someone's religion but respect their beliefs. There's facts that people may not know about their religion. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Oh, geez, ABC Cinema. Yeah. It is. I don't think a 13-year-old should make such a harsh decision. Like I said, you have to be 21 to drink, and what is the age of consent? 18, right? Consent. Consent, which I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it could probably even be higher. But yeah, 18 is when you're becoming an adult, right? So whatever. But you could be 13 and decide to completely change your entire body. Makes no sense. Yeah. Is it different in some states? I know it's 18 in most places. It's a Munchausen by proxy, parents using kids for admiration and attention from the woke. Conservatives do it too, but they don't yeah, exactly. Mhm. Trey, he's like, "That's the real." He's gonna go he's gonna start a whole, make a sign and start a what is it? Picket somewhere. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's why I feel like, the these streams are important to me. I would like to start possibly doing them every Monday, even just an hour. But for now, it's going to be every other Monday because I want to make sure that I have a nice topic and we can have a good conversation. Because you know, God forbid that happens. That never happens. Good conversations on the internet. What? I knew Trey wasn't 13 yet. What's up, Power Keg Greg? So yeah, eventually, maybe we will get to every Monday. I know 15-year-olds that are more mature than people in their 50s. You got that right there. I feel like so it's kind of a slippery slope with this. I don't tell anybody how to raise their kids because you don't know, you don't know what's gonna happen. I've had friends who were raised by, in two-parent households with loving marriage, right? Um, and they still turn out, like, kinda messed up. But then like me, I was raised in a single parent household. I think my mom might have gave me a little bit too much freedom, but I was mature at a young age. I just because she didn't shelter me at all. Again, I probably seen things that maybe you shouldn't see as a kid, not in like a like dirty or a bad way, but like certain movies and stuff that like I watch now and I'm like, "Mom, why did you let me watch this?" She's like, you didn't know what that meant." Like, "Eh." So, I think, these days, if you are sheltered too much, then it's not gonna prepare you for the world, but also, if you give a kid too much freedom, they could grow up and be too, extra. We'll just say that. So but nowadays, we're getting it to where the parents and teachers and stuff are telling these kids how to think, and you shouldn't. You should always like, "Man, that teacher, I need to find out who that guy is and see if he has, like, a Twitter or what." Like, I want more videos like that. I wanna see more of that. It's the same thing that Daryl Davis did. You sit down and have a conversation with them, and you understand each other's point of view, and you might make a change. He converted this was on my last Monday episode. If you didn't watch it, it's still up, I talked about Daryl Davis, anyone that might not have been here for it, but he's a black man, a blues musician who single-handedly got 200 Klansmen to turn in their cloaks and change their lifestyle. Like one person that I still just it still is insane to me. It's such a wonderful story. Um What's up, Oh my god, Star Wars, Star Wars, Marvel purist, and, Mark, I did try Rise coffee, I hated it. I ended up throwing it out, I thought it was terrible. I'll just stick to my black coffee. There's probably stuff in it that's good for you, I know that, but I just couldn't do it. Yeah, see, ABC Cinema, my mom used to take me to movies all the time, and she loves horror. Yeah, my mom didn't. Oh, my mom's not a horror movie person, but she would take me to see comedies that maybe I've said the story before. I was maybe like 6 or something. I don't remember how old, but her friend told her that it was okay for me to see There's Something About Mary, and she had that super mom like cover at the scene. If you know what scene I'm talking about with the zipper, I didn't see anything because my mom was like real quick, and then she called her afterwards, like, "What do you that wasn't okay for her to see." Um, Super Koopa says, "I was semi-sheltered. Mom cared greatly about what I watched, read, or played. She just was trying to impart biblical discernment, and that helped my thinking greatly." Yeah, there's nothing wrong with mildly sheltering, right? Especially these days, because there's so much like with YouTube. I didn't grow up in a YouTube generation. Like kids can just click of a button, find anything. Um, yeah. Benji says coffee not made with a rap how do you say that word? Blasphemy. I can't say words. The hair gel scene. I watched Predator at 5. Um, that would be awesome. I would love that. You should reach out to teacher and try to have him on a podcast one day. That would be amazing. Maybe I can. I would at the very least, I would love to just be able to see more content from him. He should make a YouTube channel. Maybe he has one. I don't know. I can't say words, Benji. How long have you been here? What's up, Mecca? Drinking a rock star. I get in here and Wicked is telling me I am a boy. Arabica. Arabica? Oh, that's how you say it? Okay. I thought that it looked like okay, so I would have said it right if I would have actually Thanks, guys. Listen, it's too early. Okay, I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'll let you guys know about that though. And I will share his Twitter and stuff if I should have committed. I shouldn't have thought about it. I didn't do critical thinking. Gotta practice what I preach. My mom was renting me Friday 13th movies at 9. She is a hardcore conservative Christian, but I was a boy growing up in the 80s. My sisters were a little more sheltered, as it should be. Yeah, I agree with that. So I was I don't know, I wasn't super sheltered. I was the baby for my mom anyways. My dad has a few more kids. My mom only has 2. And I was the baby. I'm still her baby. and it was she worked a lot, right? So sometimes I'd go to work with her or and I find that very believable, Trey. I was never sheltered. So I watched a lot of movies, right? My mom was one of those that would just get instead of renting a movie, sometimes she would just buy it. So we had a lot of VHSs. Like an example of a movie I probably shouldn't have watched as a kid was Pretty Woman. I love Pretty Woman. I didn't really understand what was going on though. I just liked certain lines in the movie and stuff. Like watching it now, that's one of the movies where I was just like, Mom, why'd you let me watch this? But I guess she was like, nah, mm. You didn't know what was going on. It's fine. She's right though. I didn't. Rewatching stuff now as an adult, I have more love for this stuff that, an example, my favorite stand up to this day and will always be my favorite stand up is Robin Williams live on Broadway. I've had the DVD for that for I can't probably since DVDs were like since it came out. The first time I watched that, I was probably like single digits. And I remember me and my cousin, we just thought it was hilarious because Robin Williams is funny, like his mannerisms and stuff. Some of the jokes we did not get, but we knew the entire stand up word from word. And watching it now, I'm like, it's still great. It's my favorite stand up, but I'm like, man, 9-year-old me, I didn't know what the heck he was talking about for the most part. I just thought he was funny. Yeah, it's the funniest stand up ever, man. We will never have another Robin Williams. And I actually found I had to print this out, that picture back there. That's my favorite picture of him. I think it's from one of his stand-ups. But I found it and I'm gonna order it in color, and I'm really excited. So that's gonna change soon. It's gonna be the actual picture. I printed that out at Office Max. I just wanted it so bad. I know people who were too sheltered but surprisingly grew up okay. I think it all depends on how they approach adulthood. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like a slippery slope. You can't say be too sheltered or be too sheltered because there's some kids that were sheltered and their parents were aggressive about it and they weren't allowed to do this and that and they just never let them do anything. And then they grew up very rebellious. But then sometimes they grew up the way the parents wanted them to and they're good people now. But also, there's people that were not sheltered, grew up fine, and it's exactly what Super Cooper said. It's how they approached adulthood. That's why it's so important that kids these days are able to form their own opinions on stuff, and they just can't. It's like you. It's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't with these kids. They ask questions and then they get in trouble for it. Especially on the internet like that you seen it with that video, that kid almost was afraid to agree with JK Rowling's tweet because he knew he'd probably get crap for it, but he was like, "I feel stupid." Eventually, he was like, "I wasn't, I was stupid for that." Ugh. Howard K. Gray, my folks are conservative, but we weren't sheltered. My mom and I read Harry Potter, and for Christmas we got a PS2 with Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah, see, that's how it's like. My mom's very, Christian. She was raised Christian. She was never into horror movies. I wasn't as a kid. I'm not even super into them now. Like there's some I like. I just like good cinema. So, and I love the campy old school like horror movies. My favorite is comedies though. I like to laugh. So, unfortunately, there hasn't been very many new comedies out that are actually good because everything is censored these days. Um, my mom wouldn't let me watch Jaws when it first came out, but she did buy me the book. That's probably a good call because to this day I have the irrational fear when I go into a deep swimming pool that Jaws is gonna get me. It's just there. Um, and Trace, I'm definitely showing my kids Predator. I believe you. Ian says, I was raised super duper Catholic, but I call myself non-denominational now. Yeah, that's what I was raised non-denominational and I still am to this day. You were raised Christian too, never got to the everything is demonic range we were based. Yeah. Yeah, I had some friends, so I'm not into Harry Potter at all. Like sorry, Blabs. I'm not. I tried to get into it, I just never could. But I had friends growing up that they ended up really liking it now because as kids, their parents wouldn't let them watch it. So as adults, they decided to watch it. Yeah, an actual funny comedy would be the mark of our Hollywood changing. So why that's why we need comedians like Dave Chappelle. Has anyone here watched his most recent stand-up? It came out I just watched it like a week ago. It came out in 2023, but I think it was the end of 2023. What I love about Dave Chappelle is he makes fun of everybody. That's what we need. Now comedians will like, oh, it's like only okay to make fun of, conservatives or, you know what I'm talking about. I love comedians. Yeah, there you go, right there. It's illegal to be funny. Look how they demonize Ricky Gervais and Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is uncancelable. I don't care what you say, what anyone says. They will try, but that man, he's proof that we need good entertainment and we're hungry for it, and he will always have a crowd. Yeah, it was hilarious. The only horror movies that's my favorite. Evil Dead 2 is my favorite horror movie, which just shows how I feel about horror movies. That's more of a horror comedy, right? Um, yeah, exactly. Oh, Gervais's has a new one? I gotta check that out. Where is that one available? I find myself watching, like, old comedies. Did you guys see what was it Jim Gaffigan, what he said? What was it, the Oscars? Ugh, I love when they come out and say stuff. I forgot exactly what it was he said, but I watched it and I was like, "Okay, thanks, Ian." I was like, "Yes," just like I just love it. Oh, yeah, what was it exactly that he said? He was like, "Can you believe, like, that he's not a I can't say this word on YouTube, but he's like, "I'm a white guy. How did I make it here?" Because 'cause I'm not you guys know I can't say it. You guys seen the clip. I thought that was funny. I like Jim Gaffigan too. He's pretty funny. Um, we need more. I miss Robin Williams. We need more of him. Ian's like, "I saw it. I seen it. I remember." The Gervais special was great. Well, that's what I'll be watching later. I'm on episode, like, 5 now of Lois and Clark. I restarted that because I was really young. I had no idea what the plots. Yeah, George Carlin was good. It's him too. Um, I'm on, like, episode 5, so if anyone's interested in rewatching the Lois and Clark show with Dean Cain, it's on HBO Max. I that's what I was watching instead of the Super Bowl. I was working and watching that, and then when the halftime show came up, I loved the halftime show. I think nowadays, old and indie media is far more entertaining. It's not trying to shove any message down your throat. I barely watch anything new. Exactly. Something good that came out recently, which I guess people have found like an episode or 2 to be a little bit woke. I didn't because the thing is, some of the stuff that we consider woke now, which doesn't make it not considered woke, we grew up seeing stuff like that and we didn't really think about it because it wasn't being shoved down our throats like it is now. But the TED show on Peacock, I thought it was pretty funny. It was just like a fun little show, and there were some parts that really made me laugh out loud. So if you're interested in something just kind of silly, check that out. I don't think that we're gonna get a season 2 because it was, apparently very expensive to make. So, um oh, yeah. I remember the, Delirious cracked me up. Again, saw that. I mean, that came out before I was born. I saw that when I was in the single digits, and, a lot of the jokes I didn't get. I just remember me and my cousin thinking the ice cream bit was just about the funniest thing we'd ever seen in our life. Um I love the Evil Dead trilogy. I don't mind the remake either. I love all forms of horror. I think it's a genre that brings out people's creativity most, especially the use of practical effects. That's a fair point. And you something else. I used to work at before I moved my local Comic Con. Well, volunteer. I didn't get paid for it, but I seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And I used to be at the panels. I used to have to work the panel, and they always put me in the horror panels because it was usually like B-level people, you know, that did one horror movie or like again, Alex Vincent from Chucky, Child's Play movies. He was one of the people. They were always so kind. And I've heard this on the Comic Con circuit, that they say that the horror guests are so much more kinder and nicer than some of the comedians that come through there. They're just very down to earth and nice. So if you ever have a chance, like if you go to a convention and there's a horror star that you like, I would suggest even just sitting down at their panel. I can't remember his name. Trey might know this. He played one of the Jasons. I think he played Jason in the one where he gets put at the bottom of the lake, like they uh, tie him up or whatever with the chains. Think that was the one. I didn't know who he was, and I was sitting way in the back because sometimes people will get up during those Kane Hot was it Kane? No, not Kane Hodder. Maybe that's the wrong one. No, not the big one. He's not a big one. He was in like 6 or something. Not no, no, not Kane Hodder. He's the big one, that did Jason a few times. Maybe it's not the right movie I'm talking about then. He was, I can't remember his name. It wasn't Kane though. But he was nice. I think he only played Jason once, so maybe it wasn't that one. But I would sit in the back because at a lot of these panels, if you've been to a panel, people will just get up in the middle of the celebrity talking and, like, let the door slam, and to me, it's so rude. Um, if I would leave, I'd close the door quietly, but they just get up and let the door slam, like, they don't care. So I would sit in the back of these panels and, if I seen someone get up and I would quietly let the door shut, right? And he said something to me. I can't believe I can't remember his name. I should look back and see if I can find the guest list. This was from like 4 years ago. I think it was CJ Graham. I think so. Hold on. You know what? Let me look it up. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I think it was him. Let's see. It was. Thank you. He was delightful. He was so nice. I so I was sitting in the back, right? And he's like, "What are you?" He stopped in the middle of a scene. He's like, "What are you sitting all the way back there for?" And I was like, what did I say? I said something like, "Oh, I'm security. I'm making sure everything goes fine." And he like giggled at that because like here I am, 5 foot nothing, and this dude is huge. He was just really nice, and he talked with the crowd, and yeah, just an example. And what's her name from that horror movie with Nick Cage? It was like that campy Valley one. Was it called Valley Girl? I forget her name, but she was a sweetheart. I've never even watched that movie. Um, and when I was holding like the door open for people to come in, and I was like, I forgot her name. I said her name though, and I said hi, and she was like, "Hi," and she like made eye contact and was just being very sweet. Some of these celebrities, you can tell that they actually enjoy going to these conventions and meeting the people. "What's up, Dominic, the writer?" Yes, Deborah, yeah, because I was like, "Hi, Deborah," and she was like, "Hi," and she was just, so sweet. I missed that, I miss doing those. Hopefully, I'm gonna reach out, and maybe this year I'll go back and be like, "Hey, you need" I don't know if I wanna volunteer, though, because I think I wanna actually enjoy the convention, but, oh, it's not well, they put her in with the horror guest, so I'd never seen the movie, but she was put in with the horror guest, and she talked about how like, nice Nick Cage was too. Um, Horror actors are the best. Brad Dourif, Robert Englund, David Howard Thornton, Robert Mukes, all great people. I got to meet Carl Weathers at a 2022 Texas Frightmare. So glad I did. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wanna meet Robert Englund really, really bad. Robert Englund and Bruce Campbell is actually number 1 for me. I will travel to go to a convention for him, depending well, maybe I don't know. I say that, but I don't know, because sometimes these guests have to cancel, so I don't really like to travel for one person. I hope he comes somewhere around Florida one day. Yeah, I was supposed to meet her, Trey, 2020. Gosh darn you. I was ready. I seen her coming, and I was ready. I'm like, "Yes," because I always pick one person. Like, the next convention that I go to, I will, it's probably gonna be Dean Cain as long as he still is attending, the one that I plan on going to. That would be great. I wanna meet Neve Campbell even though she may be a weirdo politically. Yeah, see, so that's how I feel about, Charisma Carpenter. Politically and socially, I don't agree with her. But she was very kind to me, and she's beautiful. Like, I this is my thing, like, when she looked me in the eyes and was like, "You're gorgeous," I was like like, I turned into Garth and just, like, ran away. I didn't, but I definitely probably blushed for sure. Yeah, 2020 was stolen from us. Huh. Even Jamie Lee Curtis has gone weird, yeah. Just check Bruce Campbell's next appearance is next week in Vancouver. Oh my god. Jay's gonna be there. I should send him money and be like, please give me a Bruce Campbell autograph." God, why doesn't he come to Florida? Hi, Lulu. Can't wait to Yes. Yes, he's so delightful too. He's very nice. He took a video of my Buffy tattoo. He was like, "Oh, that's sick." Brad Dourif. as Grim. Oh, I have okay, I don't even remember that. I just think of him as, oh, man, portray, but okay, I feel like I've gone off topic here, but I will let you guys know if I can find if that teacher has, like, a Twitter or anything, I'll put it, like, in my Discord and let you guys know. What's up, Maza? Bruce Campbell you know what? Since we're talking about it, hold on, I have it right here. I finally got it out of storage. I emptied my storage unit in Buffalo, and I got all my stuff. Hold on. Let me grab it. Oh, yeah, I don't need my headphones on anymore. I'm just used to it now. I want Bruce to sign this. I had to make this. I got a chainsaw from Spirit Halloween, and I had to do this to it. I had to paint it, prime it. It took a bit of time to make it look like ashes. I had to drill the hole, to put my hand in it and everything. I need him to sign this. One day, I hope. Yes, I made it, but, like, I didn't make the actual chainsaw. I just got one from Spirit and had to sand it down, paint it, and make it into Ash's chainsaw. Took a bit, but, need to get with Moeller and make that Buffy stream. I've actually, a girl talked to me about that, like, that he's a big Buffy fan. I didn't know how many people were Buffy fans. I also have this, so we're gonna flex on stuff I made. For my Cara Dune cosplay, I made her blaster. 3D printed this. I was gonna send it to Jay, but now I kind of think I wanna keep it. Maybe I'll make him another one if he wants it and send it to him. Uh, that was speaking of, like, the whole Gina news we were just covering, when I went to the site I forget what site it was, because I go to sites that have, for 3D printing, right? They hid, and I was so mad because 'cause I'd already printed it out and I didn't see it. In, like, the center of it, because I had to actually, like, glue parts of it together, like, it was a separate some of this had to get glued together, but in between, like, where was it? I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was, like, 'cause I had to glue this part on. It said trans rights on it for Cara Dune's blaster, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I re-uploaded it. I deleted that, and I re-uploaded that site. Um, so stupid. But I'm like, "Thanks, like, you took the time to make this blaster when you don't like her, like, but thanks, I'm using it to make a cosplay." I also have the badge right here too. Um, but yeah, James Marsters is awesome. Spike is my favorite. I even told James Marsters this, like, we didn't have much time. I was the last signing that he did at the Miami Comic Con, and he had to hurry up. We both had to hurry up because I was doing the photo op with him and Charisma Carpenter. Um, uh So, we had to speed it up, unfortunately. I would love to meet him again, uh, and have a little bit more time to talk, but again, I was the last signing he did of that whole weekend because he after the photo op, he had a panel, which I missed some of because I couldn't find couldn't find where it was, and he left right after that. So yeah, I was the last signing at the Miami Comic Con. I'm so glad I got it. But we fangirled for a few minutes, and I said, "Spike is my favorite vampire character in all cinema." And I told him how my friends were like, "Oh, but what about Blade? What about Dracula?" and stuff like that. And he had this smirk, like he was he's like, "Yeah, you're right. You got the right opinion." And we talked about the writers and just how things aren't written like that anymore. Because so I didn't know this, but a lot of the writers for Buffy were new, so they had something to prove, but they actually, cared about the writing. It was so. I love David Boreanaz, so yeah, I love Angel, but Spike, I would say him and Cordelia arguably had the best character development. Not even arguably, they had the. I don't care what you say, it's my opinion, but it's right. They had the best character development in the whole Buffyverse. I mean, again, I love Angel, but the only reason he was good was because he had a soul put in him. Spike was very special, um, because he loved in vampires. in the Buffyverse, like, you become like, your soul's gone, you become, like, a demon, right? And you don't care, like, you're just an animal. Spike actually loved and that he was very unique in the entire universe, and his development from going to the villain to literally saving the world, just wow. Um, yeah, Wesley too. Evil Dead Buffy crossover would be epic. That'd be cool to see Buffy and Ash fight some dead. That'd be awesome. Wesley had amazing character development. He did. 'Cause he was very timid and, oh, like, you know what Wesley was, and then you see him in Angel, and you're like, "Look at this rugged, handsome man killing demons." Wonderful stream friend. I gotta go make content. Glad I caught your stream. God bless and keep up the awesome work. I'll be here for the next stream. Thank you so much, Super Cooper TV. I appreciate you. Oh god, don't get me started. That's see, you guys are gonna turn this into a Buffy thing. When they're singing, "You Are My Sunshine," and then, Lauren can sense when something's about to happen when someone's singing, and then he looks over at Fred, and she just falls over and becomes Illyria. Oh my god, like, that was the start of it. That was so emotional. Um, ah, Dre's like, "And?" But okay, before we end the stream, guys, thank you so much. See you later, Mark. Thank you so much for hanging out. I would love to make these every Monday, but for now, they're just gonna be bi-weekly because I wanna make sure I have a nice topic. I'm so glad I found that video. I'm gonna look as soon as I get off the stream, I'm gonna look more into, that teacher. I would love to, and if I could reach out and get him on here, oh my god, I would love that. So here's what I have going on today. I'm gonna be on a podcast later. If those of you who don't know, I every other Monday, I am on the Patches and Rum podcast on the history of pirates. And here's the live link for it at 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to be talking about Master and Commander, which is a great movie. I just seen it for the first time on Friday. So this is gonna be a nice discussion. I'm very excited. This is different too, because usually, besides the Christmas one where we just kinda had fun and talked about little pirate traditions, they're usually centered around a specific pirate in history, but this is a little bit different. We're gonna be talking about Master and Commander, and I'm really excited for it. And thank you, Lulu, for dropping the links. And then also just let me 'cause I'm pushing this because you guys are gonna hold me accountable and make sure I post content on here. This month, I have a few really good ideas. I have a really small kitchen though, so it's hard for me to do certain things. But here is I made a second channel, which I was very hesitant to do because growing channels is just ridiculously hard. But I love cooking. I'm a big foodie. So this channel, Wicked Manja, is gonna be cooking, doing easy recipes. I'm really good at planning parties and stuff too. So little dishes for parties and stuff. I will be doing vlogs out. Uh, Jay said I should do mukbangs, which I'll do that for sure. Well, I'll just eat and talk to you guys over there. I will be going live. When I do happen to go to theme parks, I'll make, even little videos or shorts of trying food there, cooking. So there's my second channel. I only have one short making Princess Peach cupcakes on there. So if you're interested in food and stuff and you want to see like that type of vlog style and everything, uh, go on over and subscribe. Oh, portray. But yes, thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. And it's not going to be next Monday, but the Monday after, I will be back on here. Thank you, Ken. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch me over on History of Pirates. And yeah, see you guys later. Thank you, Lulu. Okay. Bye, guys.